I come from a field where there is no set chronology of how things will work, where success is not defined by a predefined timeline, which means there are no shortcuts, no formulas, and no crash courses. A field where passion is the only drive. I come from a field where every nanosecond matters, and where when you close your eyes, a shuttle travels at a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, I come from a field where young boys and girls grow up with only one ambition, and that is to play for the nation. Just like these young boys and girls, I was 13 when I first picked up my racket. In the first year of training itself, my very first coach categorically told my parents that I was no good and I would never make it into the sport. Thankfully, they believed in me. They enrolled me into a different training center instead. I too became passionate about the sport. As a young athlete, life was full of challenges and struggles, which meant no junk food, no entertainment, no social life, sometimes no friends as well. But somehow persistence paid off later. From a young boy who was bluntly told that he could never make it into the sport, to an athlete who later signed autographs in Germany, I believe that sports. Thank you. I believe that sports has been the fondest gifts of my life. It has also been a great teacher. One of my most memorable days occurred at the age of 18 when I was playing in the All India tournaments. In the All India tournaments, you have to qualify to make it into the top 32 in the country. 16 out of the 32 are pre-qualified and 16 go through a grueling knockout stage with 1,000 other participants. Now, the reason why it becomes so challenging is because as an average athlete, you train for 8 hours for a span of 4 to 5 days, whereas in this tournament, you have to do everything that you do in those 8 hours in just a span of 20 minutes. The games are super fast. The schedules are super late. And at times, athletes even play their matches at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning. For 30 tournaments, for 4 straight years, I failed in the final round of the qualifying. It had almost become a mental barrier for me and my partner. We would defeat tough opponents in the initial rounds and lose out to even the easiest in the final round. Ladies and gentlemen, for 30 tournaments, I would call my parents back home. We would call our parents back home and we would tell them that we final round harlo, which in English means that we lost the final round. And even though we lost many times, we stayed loyal to each other. And that is what eventually made all the difference. On a cold morning in Sikkim, we were supposed to play our final rounds against the second seeds of the tournament. In the opening game, my partner smiled and told me that, bro, I'm not able to control the shuttle at all. He had already started making plans for the next day as to where we were going sightseeing. I, in return, shared certain words of wisdom in his ears, which I would not like to share here. We lost the opening game without any resistance. In the opening game, we were 18-13 down. Now, for everybody who plays badminton here would understand that 18-13 is almost done and dusted. But somehow, a very long rally took place at 18-13 that changed everything for us. We defended for the next 8 points. And we won the second game with a score of 21-19. Well, I wouldn't clap. It was too early to clap. Now, in the third game, we had showed our talent to the zenith. And this time, we were 19-13 down. Now, it was time where I should have started making the sightseeing plans. But somehow, again, a very long rally took place at 19-13, where We again changed those points and we defended the second seeds with a final score of 26-24 in the final game. The whole crowd could not believe what they had just seen. We saw almost everybody in the stadium touching their heads in surprise. I cannot forget that day. Me and my partner were in tears on court. The feeling was beyond words, something unparalleled. There will be tougher games ahead. There will be better comebacks ahead. But this one match shall always hold a special place in my heart. We called back home after this game. And we had to tell our surprised parents that this time, we final round jinklo, which in English means that we won the final round. To my surprise, my younger sister picked up my phone and she burst out in tears because she knew the significance of that particular match. After that game, we qualified in every game we played. The losses had made us stronger and helped us build a very strong mindset. Some athletes realize it early, some take time. I took time to realize that the only difference between winning and losing tough games was the belief factor. This belief factor further helped me in making it to the top 140 in the world. Sports taught me to believe in the process and grow through the losses. It built me as an overall individual. Now, an average athlete's life is very short, 10-15 years if all goes well. Now let us understand that not every athlete is going to make it to the Olympics. And making a livelihood through sports is not always going to be possible for every athlete. But what about the attributes that one earns on trying to becoming the world's best or training to becoming the world's best? Let's see this interesting infographic. According to the study by Fortune 500, the top 95% of CEOs and 94% of C-suite females were former professional athletes. And we have a few examples sitting here, right here in the audience as speakers today as well. Indira Nooyi, the former CEO of Pepsi and Company. John Donahoe, the former CEO of Nike, and Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook. And just like I said, we have a few examples here today. So clearly, athletes have the ability to translate their high-performance habits into the business world and become great individuals and change makers. Now let me tell you how and why. Number one, goal-oriented mindset. As athletes from a very young age, we are taught how to set clear and tangible goals. Now this isn't just about making it to one tournament or making it to just a particular match, but this is about incremental goals like focusing on that one particular stroke, focusing on that one particular muscle. In corporates too, this translates to setting year-end goals, strategic goals as a team. Number two, collaborative and team-driven spirit. The story that I just told you, where we failed for 30 tournaments, we had options to switch partners, but we never did. We kept believing in each other and we pushed each other. And today you will be glad to know that my partner stands in the list of one of the best badminton players in the country and is also a part of the national team. Point being, sports teaches you that self-growth happens only when you help others grow. Athletes are people who understand retention naturally. These are the people who are going to stay put in the times of in the most toughest of times, are going to sail through the toughest times. Number three, unwavering commitment and resilience. There were times in my academy where I felt completely sore. There were days where my body would give out completely. On those days, I would text my coach and ask him if I could take a day off. But the kind of replies that he shared, the kind of wisdom that he used in his replies, made me run from my bed to the badminton court within minutes. Point being, ladies and gentlemen, that through wisdom or through competition, sports is going to teach you to be committed. There is no room for distractions, which makes work ethics and discipline an inevitable part of life. Sports teaches you to play by the rules. It teaches you integrity. Such a quality not only helps you in making a good leader, but also a great responsible citizen for the nation. Last and the most important, excellence under pressure and relentless growth. Now, be it serving an ace in the most crucial of times or Mahendra Singh Dhoni hitting a six on the last ball of the match, athletes take pressure as a responsibility. Such qualities drive them to create innovation and help them to set a benchmark apart in everywhere they go. Overall, athletes as leaders and change makers will have a great impact on the world wherever they go. To conclude, I would just like to say that it is time that we as athletes embrace transitions with courage, confidence, and self-belief. It is also time where organizations recognize sports and encourage professional athletes to transition their careers. Lastly, I would like to say only one thing, that sports will end for every athlete, but the sportsman in them will live forever. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It was a pleasure speaking here tonight.